Have you ever wondered why some guys always seem to have it together when it comes to their money and finances, their body and their health, and their business and their other personal matters? Well, in this episode, I'm going to break down the unique, rare relationship between money, energy, and the body that's going to help you bring all of these things together so you can live your life at the next level. What up, and welcome to the Healthy Deposits Podcast, where I help you strengthen the holistic connection between your brain, your body, and your business. This week's episode is inspired by a video I was watching on YouTube talking about how money is a spiritual concept, right? And for a lot of people, that's kind of woo-woo, goes over their head. They don't believe in it, whatever. I don't care. I listen to it. I like it. And there are some real life, foundational, hardcore principles that we can see lived out in the real physical world. And I'm going to break them down in this video so that you can understand what energy is really about, how it helps you get money, how it helps you improve everything in your life. First thing we're going to do though is try to define money. We're going to give money a real good grounded definition because we all want a little bit more, right? There's never really enough money, right? And that's not to say that you're being greedy. The reason why there's never enough money or why there's always so much available is because energy is infinite, right? There's always energy available. You can always direct that energy towards generating some kind of financial reward. So there's never really enough money. So let's break it down. And when it comes to money, right, it's often introduced to us or taught to us as something to be made and had. We always reference money as I have this much money, or I got this much money in the bank, or how much money you got on you, how much money do you have for this, right? Or I make this amount of money. And those words always seem to have a level of permanence to it and also a level of stagnation to it. Like I have this much money in the bank, like it's just there, it's just in the bank, right? There's nothing going on with it, it's just in the bank. I have this much money in my pocket, right? And so the money, nothing happens with this money until we actually spend it, right? And a better way to actually approach money or think about money or speak about money is earned, right? Or generated, right? In terms of business, like for my business, I gotta generate revenue, right? All businesses, that's how they speak about it. You wanna generate revenue. Maybe I wrote generate too big. You want to generate revenue, so you generate money, and then you actually use it or redistribute it. So that's the way to think about money in the abundance mindset, right? It's meant to be used. You use your energy to help advance the world in some kind of way, right? Your community, your household, things like that. So these are the ways that I like to think about it. Money is earned because you got to put out some kind of energy and effort so that you can use the money. It comes back to you. You use it or redistribute it, right? It's not meant to just be had. It's not meant to be stagnant. You can't just keep it, stationary, right? And so shout out to Myron Golden. He's a entrepreneur, business coach. You can check out his channel. But I joined one of his challenges, and on his channel, he talks often about the different approaches people have towards money, right? So the poor mindset, they think about money, or they use money to just pay bills, right? Middle class people use money to pay or leverage debt, and rich people think about money or use money to make more money, right? Or to earn more money. And when you really think about it, the best way to use it, the way rich people use it, there is motion around that money because you have to use it to generate more. So you got to put it back out into the world so that it can create more and more, right? And that's in reference to wealth and abundance. So it doesn't just stop at your bill collector. It doesn't just stop at your debt collector, right? It keeps going. It keeps circulating. It keeps generating. That's what money is really all about. So when we define money, we define it as something to be earned, energy to be used and redistributed. Now, if you have a hard time embracing the idea that money is meant to be earned, generated, used, and redistributed, you often get stuck at like a lower paying job, or you may even, crack that top 20% in America where you're making 6 figures a year, but you have a hard time climbing up the ladder or making more money or generating more revenue or acquiring more resources to be used and redistributed, because you forgot the foundational concept that it has to be redistributed, right? That you have to be open to ways to generate more money. And so people often get stuck because somewhere along the lines, they get back to the idea of just holding onto the money. I just have this money. So much so to the point people only identify themselves as how much money they actually make, right? Which in some cases is okay, but that's not what we focus on right now. We focus on not being stuck, you know what I'm saying? Opening up the channels for you to actually generate and receive, energy in the form of money. Speaking of energy, let's go on to talk about the actual relationship between energy and money. In the present time, it's never been more clear that money is no longer just about a physical, tangible item like coins, like metal, right? Coins or gold bars or pretty printed paper, right? Money is really just energy out there floating around that we actually capture with numbers. And most of us right now just looking at money on the screen, right? Whether it's just in your Cash App account, in your bank account, it could be in your stock portfolio. You watching that, you're just looking at that on the screen, right? So that now money is just represented as numbers on the screen. So now we can kind of detach ourselves from having money as just like having a couple $100 bills in your pocket or having some coins in a piggy bank. When you really start to understand that concept, you really get to start to notice that money is really a spiritual concept, and it's really just a reward for the productive energy that you generate and offer as value to the rest of the world. Now, that concept may go over your head. We could talk about it in a different episode, but really, money is intangible. The concept of wealth, money, and abundance is intangible because I can have money in my bank account now. I can go to another part of the world and the money, if I logged into my bank account in the other part of the world, a $100 bill will only be good here. But the actual money that I've generated from the energy that I put out, from the value that I actually offered, can be represented in another part of the world at the same time. That's a spiritual concept. It is not tangible. It can be in multiple places, right? And another thing that behaves very, very, very similar to how money is, like this concept of money that I'm talking about, is energy. When you really think about energy, it's often referred to as current, right? And currents flow. Currents have to be in motion in order to produce some kind of tangible outcome in the world. So we have electric cars now. They have electric current charged by some kind of electric battery. We have traditional cars, right, that you use gas for these cars. And so they are mobilized through a charge from natural resources, from oil and gasoline. But there's energy there. The current that's in the car is from some other source. Either way, the current has to be put into the car. It has to have the energy, right? We see all these things happening. All the things that are moving in the world are moving based on energy. When you hit the light switch, your light comes on. There's energy that went from the current that controls the circuit breaker to the actual light in the matter of whatever the speed of light is, right? But we know some energy went from one place to another. With energy, energy has always been here. Before we had money, before we had currency, currency is a system of money that's recognized by a region or a state or a country, right? So before we had currency, we just had the current, we had energy. So you actually need energy in order to have money, to generate money, to create money, right? But the energy is always there. And now we can think about energy as current. Now when you think about the relationship, you got energy, which is the current, which is the root for the word currency. And currency is what? Money. That's what we're trying to get, right? We need a little bit more money. Everybody can use a little more of it, right? So hopefully you're seeing the intricate and well-defined connection between energy and money. All right, so energy produces currency. Currency is money. All right, so now we get a really good understanding. And to take it another step, go back to the words I used to describe money before, where money is generated the same way energy. You think about a generator, like a mobile generator for when you're out at an amusement park or a state fair or at a food truck. It has a generator on it. it generates energy to power the truck. So money and energy have a really direct relationship, correlation, all of that good stuff, right? They're super similar, all the way down to the words you use to describe the behavior of both concepts. You generate energy, you generate money. You use energy, you use money. You redistribute energy, you redistribute money. And so now that we're here, we got a good, solid understanding of money and energy. Let's talk about the third part, which is what I like to talk about all the time, health and wellness, right? So we're working on our brain, our body, and our business. Let's say business is the money, right? And our brain and body you're about to get to, because we gotta have energy in our brain and body in order to get to the money. So if there's one thing I know that I'm always been aware of, is I look up the jobs where you actually can make money. How much money can you actually make? And I wish I would have did this before I graduated from college, because I would not have chosen the major of philosophy, because who the hell knows how much money you make as a philosophy major. But anyway, after that, after a few years after that, I started looking up like what people actually make in certain positions. Well, I definitely know that you can crack the $100,000 mark, right? You can get into that top 20% with a blue collar job, right? And what reminds me of that is when I opened Good Parting Company. So when I opened my first cafe, I was lucky enough or blessed enough to find a space that was previously a bakery. So it was already outfitted to serve food. So I already had a 3-compartment sink, floor drains, plumbing, all the stuff I need, all the kitchen resources and stuff like that. But I had to get some plumbers to come in and fix it. So I asked around for some plumbers because, I wanted to keep my dollars in the community, with my people. So I'm like, yo, anybody know any plumbers? I need somebody to help me with my cafe. And really, I just sent this out to my close friends. Actually, I'm lying. I put it on Instagram, and my man hit me back, and he put me on with my new buddies, Ryan and Gamal. So shout out to them. So boom, Ryan and Gamal come through, and they work for a big company here, who I happen to work with now, Johns Hopkins University. So let this represent Ryan and Gamal. Boom. These guys are plumbers. Boom. And I'm not in their pockets. I don't know how much money they make, but they ain't hurting right now. You know what I'm saying? And I do know that to some extent, they either do now, they already do, or they're on their way to cracking 6 figures during their career as plumbers. Whether they decide to take on apprentices, open their own plumber, become some kind of master plumber, they're on the path to earning 6 figures. So my whole point in saying that is, through physical labor, you generate enough energy, you can go and get to it, right? So that's one level of creating energy to bring back the revenue that you want. So my guys are plumbers. This here is, let's call this a wrench. Boom. That's just going to represent. That's going to represent them. So they use their wrench to drum up these swiggles here. This is energy. You feel me? So they use their tools, their physical capability and energy, right? Because that's what we're talking about, to drum it up, this energy, to create the financial outcomes that they want. Okay? Now let's say we got another guy, we're gonna call him, my man name gonna be, we got another guy, we're gonna call him Corey. Now Corey is what most people think about when they think about $100,000 job or a 6-figure salary, because most 6-figure salaries are earned in white collar positions. If you don't have your own business, if you're not an entrepreneur, you probably have some white collar job, which is all good. Now I live in Baltimore. Let's, for this example, say Corey works for T. Rowe Price, right? So that's a financial investment firm. So he works at an investment firm. He's at a desk all day. You know what I'm saying? This is the computer of him at his desk. That's the keyboard. Boop boop. Here goes his little screen. He got the doodle-doops going on the screen. Well, he got computers puting, right? So he got to sit here all day using his brain. And let's put a little lightning bolt, right? That's energy inside there. So this is Corey, right? He using his brain to get to the bag. Boom. He's sitting here typing away, reading numbers on the screen, right? That just represent energy that's been created through somebody else's business. So that's what he's doing. So now he using his brain here to drum up all this energy here so that he can get the financial outcomes that he wants. But here's the thing, Corey has to sit all day for 8 hours a day. And if you don't know the stats, people who have desk jobs spend 70% of their time seated, which is a little over 5.5 hours. So to sit for 5.5 hours, it's a long time. You get uncomfortable, and your energy is going to get low if you're not intentional about generating more energy, right? Whereas somebody doing a blue collar job, they're typically using their physical body, right? They're using physicality to earn their income. Now they may not be in tip-top athletic shape, but like my man Ryan and Gamal, and they're strong enough to, manipulate the world to the way that they want to. They can, they can tighten pipes, they can lift heavy objects, they can lift heavy pipes, they can burrow through walls when they need to, lift toilets and install sinks and all of that type of good stuff, right? So they use their muscles, they use their body, and that helps them keep their energy up because they know that they gotta have enough energy to go and do the physical things that they need to do to get what they want, right? Which is to get paid. Where my man Corey, he may get comfortable, right? He may get comfortable, and he also may get stressed, and he may forget about that. But what Corey got to do is remember to keep it in motion, buddy. So this is my man Corey here. This is what Corey really want to do. He really want to stay out here. This is Corey in motion, right? You got to keep your body in motion. And here's why. Corey uses his brain to make money. Most people in white collar positions are doing so. Entrepreneurs the same way. So whether you work at a tech firm, whether you are a financial analyst like Corey, or whether you accountant, whatever the case may be, if you're sitting down for a long period of time, you need to be even more intentional and focused with your fitness, because you're gonna run out of energy. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get tired. Corporate comfort may set in, and you may just start, kicking it and being relaxed too much about how you're using your energy. You need to keep your energy up because your brain is an organ. It's not a muscle. So it's relying on you and your body to actually give it the energy it needs so it can produce the results that you want. And that's what we tend to overlook sometimes when we pursue these high paying jobs, right? That you still gotta stay on top of your health. And so the moral of the story is everybody should be working out. Of course, right? Everybody should be taking care of their health, taking care of their fitness. But if you want to be one of those guys that really seem like they got really have a handle on all your things, right? Then you're going to want to take care of yourself, because you're going to have to generate that energy within yourself so that you can go out and execute. So before you even get into the whole, well, I know a lot of people who are out of shape or maybe even fat that make a lot of money. If you could choose, let's be honest, if you could choose, would you actually choose to be fat and rich? No. So don't nobody care about that anecdotal situation where somebody is fat and getting money. Like, okay, you don't have to be. In fact, you can and should. Not even should. You just can do both. There are a lot of people who do it, and it's not just a lot of people. It's available to all people who don't have some kind of physical handicap. Let's just really be honest. You can do both. You can take care of your health and get money. And yeah, it may be challenging, especially if you develop, some unhealthy habits, something like that. But those habits can be changed and changed for the better. And all it do is it just take a little bit of work, right? And once you really start to understand energy and the connection between you taking care of yourself, developing or generating the energy that you need to take care of yourself, it's only going to end up with you generating more revenue, right? So it just makes way more sense to not choose to be fat and rich. Like even like Rick Ross is one of my favorite rappers, right? He's definitely in my top 3. Definitely one of my favorite personalities. When he had his health scare a few years ago, I was like, nah, man, not my man Rose. I didn't want to see my man go out like that. But he didn't, God bless him. He's still here with us. And he got on his Ross Fit tip. And I just thought that was one of the greatest things ever, because he started taking himself more serious. He talked about how he lost like 80 pounds, even more. And he realized that he had to take the time to take better care of himself. You know what I'm saying? Move his body, take care of his body better so that he can continue to take care of his family, take care of his friends, and keep building his empire. He had goals. He know if I'm not healthy, if I'm out here doing whatever he was doing, right? He admits to being addicted to lean and how that's not, good for him and all that type of stuff. So now you follow him on his stories. I just think it's a great example, right? Even he's still a bigger guy, but he's nowhere near as big as he used to be. And he talks about taking care of him. So he actually talk about it, but he show you in his stories. You see him every morning outside walking with the trash bag suit joint on so he can burn those extra calories. You see him training with his personal trainer. You see him on the bike. You might see him boxing. You know what I mean? So that if Rick Ross can do it, and he understands the value and the importance of maintaining his personal health and putting energy into that so he can generate the right energy to continue to go and be the biggest boss, why can't you? Why is it not that important to you? If you see the outcomes that it's getting him, like, yeah, he talented, he's blessed with a gift to go do whatever he did, but that don't mean that you can't leverage those same things, right? Better health to generate better outcomes for yourself. So keep that in mind. Understand how important it is. And if you don't know where to start, I got you covered. Maybe that's the reason why you don't take it serious or you haven't implemented it, is because you don't know where to start. But that's not a big deal because I got it covered for you. I created a quick guide for my top 5 basic kettlebell training moves for busy professionals. I created the guide. You can download it for free at the link in the description. It's super simple. I love training with kettlebells. I always suggest it for all my super busy friends because you can do it at home. Even if you do go to a gym, you can use the kettlebells there. It's really good. It's going to help you with mobility. It's going to help you get your energy up, get your heart rate up, right? So now your heart can stay healthy. You can make some strength gains, you know what I'm saying? You develop a better, stronger, more resilient body. It's definitely going to get you, like I said, it's going to get your energy up. It's going to have you feeling better. It's going to have you more confident. And the better you feel, the better you're going to show up to work and the better you're going to execute. And if you're executing with high energy, you have no choice but to get more money. It's just, you have no choice but to get more money. I had to say it again because that is the result of really investing that energy into yourself so you can put out more and get more back. So again, before we sign out, remember, energy, currency, money, all of those things come from you taking responsibility for your health so that you can maintain good energy so you can go out and produce. If you don't know where to start, I created a guide to help you start training with kettlebells just so you can get your energy up, get your body more fit so you can go out there and execute better. You can download that guide for free. It's called the Kettlebell Come Up. It's 5 basic kettlebell training moves for busy professionals. You use that. I gave you a whole protocol on how to fit in a good 25 to 30 minute workout just simply using kettlebells. They don't take up a lot of space. I'm telling you, super convenient, super powerful, super efficient, right? You can download that at the description in the bio. Thanks for tapping in. Like, comment, and share. Wishing you healthy deposits, wealthy withdrawals. I'll check you out in the next episode.